Good afternoon, class 11. Let's start. Today I'll be starting with the periodic properties. Periodic properties, the first property, that is atomic radius. Okay? Atomic radius. Now, you know the definition since class 10. What is atomic radius? It is distance between the nucleus of an element, and the outermost shell. Between the nucleus and the outermost shell. That's what your atomic radius is. Now the thing is that it is not possible to measure the atomic radius because it is very, very small. We cannot measure the atomic radius. So scientists, they decided to measure the internuclear distance instead of the atomic radius. Okay, because X-ray methods can be used to measure the internuclear distance of the atoms. Okay, and that can be used to calculate the radius. Okay, so X-ray studies can measure the internuclear distance. Basically, we are going to do the classification of the radius on the basis of this internuclear distance. Internuclear means distance between the two nucleus. Okay, so under this we have the first one as covalent radius. Now the word covalent, it symbolizes, it is for the non-metal atoms because covalent bond is formed between two non-metal atoms. Covalent radius is half the internuclear distance between two non-metal atoms, that are covalently bonded. That is, they are joined by covalent bond. Non-metal atoms linked by covalent bond. Okay, this is what your covalent radius is. For example, if I talk about hydrogen molecule, this is hydrogen atom, this is its nucleus, this is another hydrogen atom. So this is my internuclear distance. Half of this will be my covalent radius. Okay, this is what your covalent radius is. Next, we have metallic radius. As covalent radius applied for non-metal atoms, this is basically for the metal atoms. How can we represent? It is half internuclear distance between two adjacent metal atoms. Between two adjacent metal atoms means the one which are closer, okay, that are joined by metallic bonds. Okay, that's what your metallic radius is, and this is basically in your crystalline state. It has to be a crystal. And when we are saying the word internuclear distance, half the internuclear distance, means the bond should be between the similar atoms, not different atoms. Like here, the metal has to be same. Okay, we cannot consider two different metals in the metallic bond. Next, we have van der Waals radius. It is half internuclear distance between adjacent atoms belonging to neighboring molecules in their solid state. Van der Waals, they are basically weak interactions. It is not a direct interaction. So how can we represent it? Suppose if I say this is one hydrogen atom, basically hydrogen molecule. Here we have another hydrogen molecule. Okay, this is one. Now we know this is your half of this is your covalent radius. Here also. Now what is van der Waals radius? These two are not directly linked. Still we have an interaction, that is van der Waals interaction. This is your internuclear distance between these two atoms, the two neighboring atoms. And half of this is my van der Waals radius. Right? That means van der Waals radius always greater. Van der Waals radius always greater than covalent radius. Okay? Last we come to ionic radius. Ionic radius it is what? The internuclear distance. Here we are not using the word half the internuclear distance. Here the internuclear distance is equal to sum of radius of cation and radius of anion. Okay, so these are my types of radius. As I cannot directly measure the atom's radius, so I have to represent in terms of the internuclear distances, and then I am calculating all these things. Okay, now atomic radius, the periodic variation, if I talk, periodic variation across a period, the atomic radius increases. Atomic radius increases across a period, and down a group it decreases. Sorry. Exactly. So across a period decreases, and down a group it increases. Sorry, extremely sorry. Now atomic radius depends on two factors. We have done this in our earlier classes. It depends on number of shells and nuclear charge. So when the number of shells increases, the atomic radius also increases. That's why down a group the atomic radius increases. It's because of the addition of the shells. Now across a period we have a factor playing, that is your nuclear charge. Nuclear charge means basically the protons present in the nucleus. As you move across a period, the shell number remains fixed. Okay, and the effective nuclear charge increases, which pulls the outermost electron or the outermost shell towards the nucleus. As a result, the distance between the nucleus and the shell decreases. So atomic radius decreases. Right? So this increases because of the number of the shells and decreases because of the increase in the effective nuclear charge. Okay? So that's it. Thank you, class.